If you learn how to sketch without fear, you truly have a creative superpower. Yeah, that's true, but there's more to this story. It's not just about fear or the mind. You see, most people simply aim too high, too fast. If we plot the development of the sketching skill on a map, we could define the level by looking at the fidelity of the sketches that you can already do. That is the amount of realism, ranging from 2D doodles at the bottom of the scale, all the way up to 3D renders in convincing perspectives. As a simple rule of thumb, you can say that the higher the fidelity, the more time it takes, and the more skill you need. Unfortunately, a skill cannot be bought or downloaded. It requires practice and dedication, which is why it usually takes quite some time to fully develop your skill. But that does not mean that you shouldn't already start sketching in your design projects. This line, that represents your skill level over time, divides the map into two spaces: the things you can do and the things you cannot do. And that makes this top part of the map the frustration zone. In your design process, you need to avoid that space to be able to stay in a creative flow. The bottom part, on the other hand, is where you want to spend as much time as possible. That is your creative space. It's the space where ideas flourish and insights emerge. What that means is that if you're currently here in your learning journey and you do not master perspective, or you still don't know how to use Photoshop, you're going to get stuck as soon as you start working in this space. To be able to play and be creative, you should always try to work in this space, using the skills that you already feel comfortable with. That means that you need to drop the fidelity of your sketches to a level that you know you can do. If you don't know how to sketch in perspective, then simply sketch in 2D. If you have never used markers, simply stick to a pen or pencil. And if you've never used Photoshop, don't try to use it now. There is a time to practice and learn, and a time to apply and create. You need to practice what you cannot do yet. That's when we learn to sketch. But in the creative space, we want to apply our skills, so we sketch to learn. In this space, we are exploring the options for our design, and we're looking for insights or feedback. But even if you're much further on your journey and you master most techniques, you're still better off lowering the bar to a level that allows you to work faster. I call this the minimal viable fidelity, the lowest amount of realism needed to complete your task. If you need to figure out the mechanical package, or the configuration of the components, or even the basic character of your design, you don't always need to sketch in perspective. You can simply work in 2D, which allows you to work much faster and explore more options. In fact, because you can already do so much in 2D, I believe you should also develop this part of your skill before training the eye to understand perspective. If you first develop your motor skill to sketch fluently in 2D, I believe you can already greatly expand your creative space to make sure you can release your superpower and stay in a creative flow.